Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Digital Media Sync. Today is the last in the series of Google Analytics, and we are going to be talking about gathering clues for your online sales. So a lot of people have already been online selling products or services, and in the wake of COVID-19, people have moved from brick and mortar to online sales. So whether you have your Google Analytics set up or not, we're going to go through some of the series of what we can do. So I'm going to pop over to share my screen. Oh, hey.
Good morning. How are you?
You popped in. Hey, how are you?
Good. I'm excited to see the rest of the analytics.
I know, I'm super psyched. How was your weekend?
I went hiking both days, so it was nice.
Cool.
Yeah. How about you?
I gardened both days, so I'm a little bit sore.
Oh yeah, good for you. Is anything are you eating anything yet?
Some kale and some lettuce, and pretty soon some radishes.
Nice.
So that's going to be super cool. Yeah, that was funny. I was just about to share my screen.
Is anyone with us?
What's that?
Is anyone with us?
I don't know. If anybody's with us, you can say hi. That would be super cool.
I'm afraid to open Facebook because of the dual sound.
Oh yeah, that's true.
How do you do it?
Do it on your, like what I do is I have my phone beside me and I use that.
Smart.
Sometimes. All right, and I'm going to put this in present mode. I don't know. If anybody's been. Oh yeah, so you can hear me.
Yeah, I just muted you.
Cool. Okay, so here we are. Actually, I'm going to put this like this. There's too much of me. Not a good thing for an early morning. Okay, so using Google Analytics to boost on-site online sales. So you get to follow the clues. So I know I've been drilling this for the past 3 weeks already. And the first thing that you want to do is make sure that you have yourself set up. So people who are not familiar with Google Analytics or haven't used it, only use their site or their e-commerce analytics, it's very easy to familiarize yourself. They have full certification courses, and if you don't want to go that deep into getting certified, you want to actually run your business, you can run through practice Google Analytic templates. And I showed that last week, and that is on the Known co-working website under Known Live Digital Media Syncs page. So I will put that up later so you can see that. You want to set up your KPIs. That's your key performance indicators. So basically what you're trying to do. You want to make sure that you filter your own IP address as well. So you don't want to have, as you're going into the site, fixing things or checking things, or if your marketing company is doing that. So anybody who regularly goes into the site and is part of your team, filter out those IP addresses. And I put a link in there as well that shows you how to do that. So again, I will put this up on the Known Co-working website. And then you want to sync your dashboard with your e-commerce platform and enable enhanced e-commerce on your Google Analytics dashboard. I know that sounds very technical, but if you're using Shopify, there's actually instructions for that. If you're using WooCommerce, there's instructions for that as well. So just look for the support section of your e-commerce section of your site. All right, any questions? Okay. The other thing that you want to do is spend time setting up and managing your Google Analytics goals. So remember when we were going over the whole left-hand side menu? And if you don't, again, the webinar is posted on the known website. The first step is to actually set up your goal URLs, because you want to track those pages that lead up to your checkout page or your download page or your sign up page. So on the right-hand side, what you're looking for is the tab that says conversions and then goals. If you haven't set up any goals yet, it will actually send you directly to the page that you need to set up your goals. So if you're advertising or if you're using organic media and you're showing a particular URL, that is the goal page. That's where you want to go. So a good example is one of the clients I have has a gifts page that has a structure that's gifts for men, gifts for women, gifts for your dog. And then the visitors would continue to the product page and then your shopping cart page and then checkout. So you want to have that goal page that helps you see how people are getting to your checkout. So goal setup plus e-commerce setup equals lots of clues. So what analytics gives you clues? Well, first and foremost, if you go into your behavior section, there's a tab called landing pages. That landing pages tab in the behavior section gives many clues. So again, if you're using email blasts, organic social media, or advertising to promote your product pages, you want to look at what pages are the most visited, how long is the visitor on the page, and how much revenue is being generated via that landing page. But also how many times the site is being visited and what platforms are being used. So these are all clues that are just in the landing page section of your Google Analytics. And then right below the landing page is your exit page. And that should be pretty self-explanatory, right? It's at what point do the visitors leave? And we hope they are leaving at the checkout. But if they are not leaving at the checkout, if they are dropping off beforehand, we want to know why they're doing that, because we want to recapture those sales. Oh, Rebecca's here. Good morning, Rebecca. Rebecca said can I put that up? There's never too much of you. I need an ego boost.
Yeah, I was going to say, you look great, Julia. Move on. Move on.
Woohoo. This is what happens the day after a holiday, apparently. So what are the analytics that gives you clues? And again, we talked a little bit about this last week, but it takes many times to learn something. I know it does for me. Site speed and speed suggestion. So this is also in the behavior section of your Google Analytics. If your site is running slow or there seems to be an upload problem, your potential customers are going to drop right off. So you don't want that to happen. And then, so site speed and site speed suggestions, they actually give you, if you look right over at the page speed suggestions, it shows you there's 8 total suggestions, 9 total suggestions, 7 total suggestions. If you click on that, it'll give you some hints as to how you can upgrade your website. And oftentimes there's other platforms and such that can do that, but Google Analytics is a good start. Okay, conversion path measurements. This is really where I spend a lot of my time. There's 2 components in this area. One is your assistant conversions, and the other one is your top conversion path. So a visitor may not make a purchase, and actually oftentimes does not make a purchase on the very first visit to your site. So you want to look at these two indicators. I am whipping through this, so if anybody has questions or needs clarification, just let me know.
Can you expound on the assisted conversion?
Yeah, I'm going to expound on that right now. Here we go. So assisted conversion path, this chart right here shows an assisted conversion path by medium. So medium is, just as you see here, direct, paid search, organic search, social network, which would be Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, and referral. So oftentimes referral is another platform that's not social, and another platform that should show up as well as your email. Email can drop into the referral section as well. So then you see how many assisted conversions there are. So direct, there's 17 in this particular case, paid search 4, organic 3, social network, and so forth. The assisted conversion value and the last click or direct conversion value are two of the values that we're taking a look at for each of these platforms or each of these mediums. So you can see a dollar amount assigned to each of the mediums. And the first one, it shows, I'm going to start with the second to last column first. The last click or direct conversion value, that dollar amount is $1,830. So that means if somebody just came in directly to the website, made a purchase, and then went off the website, that's a direct conversion. That's the only thing that happened. Or it was the last click in a series of actions. So a series of actions could be, you send out a newsletter, the person reads through the newsletter or the e-blast, there's a sale, they click on the sale, they go to the page, they take a look at the products, they make it to the checkout, and then they get distracted. Their cat needs to be fed, their kid's crying, they took a moment and said, I'm not ready to spend, whatever that is. They come off the site. They get redirected to the site. Maybe it's an ad on Facebook. Maybe they Google searched and wanted to go to your website again and they couldn't remember the name, so on and so forth. They come back. They go through the process again. They jump out of it again. They come back. They know what the name of the site is, so they go to direct. They go directly to the site. So-and-so.com. Go to the site, go to the product, go to the purchase page, and finally make the purchase. That may direct the last click conversion. That meant that the very last thing that they did was go directly to the site. Direct gets the attribution. Assisted conversion means that, let's try another one. So referral. So it was an email, but the email came after somebody may have signed up. They looked for the product. They were kind of weighing what they wanted or not. But hey, you know what? I want to be on the email list. I want to know when something's going on, when the product goes on sale, or something new comes along. They jump off the site. They do a couple of other things, and then they come back in. And then they go directly to the site. So that referral was assisting in the actual purchase, but it doesn't give full weight or full value to that particular action. So what that means is some of these are valuable in that they help the sale along, but they don't get the final attribution. And it helps you make decisions. Do I want to use paid search? Do I want to spend the money on advertising? So I think last week I was talking about if I spend $50 a month to sell product, if I only get $50 in return, does that help? So I'm weighing how much that paid search helps and how much I get direct attribution from it. Does that make sense?
Yes. So what can we say is going on here? What would this person do?
Yeah, so this is just like a couple of weeks of sales. So obviously, direct in this case, and this is one of those Google tutorial. So direct is really working here. It's helping both in last click. So people either know the site very well, or they've gone back to the site after doing something else. So paid search had 4 assisted conversions, but they didn't give any weight, any money value to those 4 assisted conversions. Last click, they made $151.42. So again, if we're thinking about how much money we're spending, if they spent $150 to get $150, it's really not helpful. Unless they have another KPI, right? So if you go back to what your KPI is, if they're using paid search to just bring awareness to the site and they're not really worried about that making them money just yet, then they're doing okay. But if they're doing paid search strictly to make money from that tactic alone, they may want to either reconfigure their ads or think about advertising elsewise. Organic search, again, that is part of the process. It doesn't cost anything, but they do want to take a look at what keywords are being used and what their SEO looks like. So what are the search terms? And so that's another clue, right? What are the search terms that are being used as people are looking for your product or service? And if you're not gaining value and you're not gaining customers, you may want to take a look at your website and utilize, the terms that are being searched. In this case, whoops, I went way ahead. The social network, again, it's helping with some of the KPIs. So assisted conversions here are not necessarily sales, but it could be bringing awareness and kind of gelling that relationship with a potential customer with an actual customer. And then referral is bringing some money in. So you want to take a look at what exactly, what if referral networks are being used. So this actually breaks that information out a little bit more. So here you have direct again, Google, DuckDuckGo. Interestingly enough, DuckDuckGo had brought in a sale. Facebook, through the mobile app, has brought in a sale. And then we have Bing as well. That provided an assistant conversion as well. So again, these are all clues. Where's the money coming from? Where are the conversions coming from? And I'm going to pop back over and just make sure that there are no questions. If anybody has questions, you can just leave them in the comment section and I will answer those questions for you. All right, so I'm going to continue. This is the conversion path. So again, in the goals section, there's the top conversion paths. And this kind of shows, this gives a map as to what the assisted conversion actually looks like. And I'm going to show 2 varieties of this. This is the top conversion path. There's a new component to Google Analytics that's in beta right now called attribution. And attribution really breaks everything down specifically by conversion. So here are some of the top paths and the conversion value, meaning the sales, the actual sales. Somebody made a purchase here. So you can see there's many different ways that people are going in. So here's one, it's organic search. Somebody used a search term. Then they knew what the URL was. So, somestore.com, they actually typed it in. They didn't make a purchase. And then they might have been retargeted, or they might have become a fan of the Facebook page. There might have been an ad on Facebook or Instagram. And so the social network was the last path, and they made a purchase. So there's a conversion value there. So this is actually kind of neat because it shows how all of these components really work together. Oftentimes if people ask, should I do a Google ad? Should I do a Facebook ad? Should I be on social media? Should I be posting on Instagram? A lot of times the answer is yes to all of it. And it's what is the combination of actions that lead your customer, because it really is a combination of actions. It's not that one thing. It's not that LinkedIn is going to be the thing to get you more clients or get you more partnerships. It's not that. Yes, there's lead generation in LinkedIn, and that's a very helpful path, but it's not the only one. It's usually doing many things as part of a campaign or part of a plan. So you're thinking about what that plan looks like.
Trying to put my hand in the screen. Julia, I have a question.
Okay. You putting your hand up?
Yeah. When you looked at number 6, it went organic to direct to social. Now,
Yeah.
does that mean there is a buy now button on one of their social pages that they were tracking, or?
Yeah, that's a good question, because now actually, two things happened on Facebook. One is there was always a shopping, well, not always, for a couple of years, there was a shopping function on Facebook. And that shopping function would lead you to the website. So if you have a shop function on Facebook and somebody clicks on that, they go to the website, and that gets, what's that?
You're talking about the Shop Now button.
The Shop Now button. But now what Facebook has done is you can shop directly on Facebook and Instagram as well. You can shop directly on Instagram. And believe at this point, you do not have to go directly over to the site. All the shopping is done on the platform.
That's
so everything's set up there. So it makes it interesting for Google Analytics now, because you're pushing everything to the site, and now Facebook is saying, now you can put all your products over here.
Right.
So yeah, that's a good question about that. The other thing too is it may be, Rebecca asked, these track a single IP. Yes, that's correct. Not all, if the IP is not hidden, of course. So where was I going with that? Yeah. So it may be an organic post on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, where there's a link that sends you over and you go through the process there. So there'll be, it won't necessarily be an ad. It'll be like, here are some new products that we have, click on this, and you click on the link and they will go over. So the social network could be an ad, it could be an organic post, or it could be that somebody's just on the Facebook page, and if you have the Shop Now button at the top near the cover image, somebody could click on that, and that gets noted as well.
So that was set up deliberately as a goal?
Not only was that set up as a goal, but everything that's tracked, all the platforms that are tracking through to that particular goal are being tracked. Are being tracked. Gotcha. Just the mere fact that you have the tracking on the website, it's being tracked. And that's why it's always a good idea as well. I know a lot of times it's difficult, or people will not put a pixel, like a Facebook pixel or a Twitter code, if if any of the social platforms give you code, and usually they do give you codes, I don't think there's been an instant where I haven't seen a social media platform give you a code. Either put it directly on the website or utilize Google Tag Manager, which is a whole other class.
A whole other class.
But Google Tag Manager is kind of like, it's a container that holds all the codes for you. So it's not on the website and not playing with the other codes. Rebecca said she needs more coffee for the Tag Manager convo. I also need more coffee for the Tag Manager convo. Which I'm not going to get into right now, but yeah, definitely look it up. Look up Tag Manager. I've been using that for tracking social media and advertising for quite a while, because if you're using a lot of different, if you're combining, anytime you're combining, you have codes and you have plugins and you have this and you have that, having the Tag Manager available to you to keep the site as clean as possible, just having one piece of code, and that's the Tag Manager code, and then everything else falls within the Tag Manager. So that's basically how it works. I'm going to go back to my actual presentation because I worked on it. I worked very hard last night on my presentation. Okay, so this is what I was talking about before. This is the attribution. So again, it's starting to pull more information and direct it into a new area. And it gives weight, again, to what the path looks like and how much that has contributed to the sale. So in this case, somebody actually opened an email 4 times, went directly to the site a couple of times, searched for the site again. And actually, I didn't even, in this case, I don't know why organic search got the win here, but whatever it was, they made $125 sale out of it. Again, a lot of email, a lot of social. These are all paths. These are all how people are interacting. Individuals are interacting with your website before they actually make a decision to do a purchase or to download something or to sign up, because sign up is also one of the conversions. So
it does look like 7 touches is maybe that median.
Oh yeah, like that makes sense, doesn't it? Because here, well, at least 7. This is direct 5, referral 2, direct again, and then email. And the email was the thing that put that person, into buy mode, or into sign up mode, or into download mode. Yeah, a lot of these are multiple touches. And if you don't know what your website is doing and what visitors are doing on your site, you're missing a lot of opportunities. And the other thing to think about with this as well is, how can you shorten this time span and the number of touches? How can you make your site more available? And there might be clues in that as well. All right. Okay, so remember back a few slides back, I had talked about making sure that your e-commerce platform is connected to your analytics as well. So you have information coming in from the website, and then you have information coming in from the e-commerce platform that gives you a lot of clues. So in this case, there is everything from entry into the site all the way to purchase. So you have all sessions over here, and then sessions with transaction all the way at the end. And I just want to direct you to the far right-hand side of this presentation slide. This is the section of the Google Analytics that we're talking about. The e-commerce section is in the conversion area. So that's where you have your goals and your multiple points of entry and e-commerce. So we have, this opens up when you make that connection between Google Analytics and the e-commerce platform. So there's overview, just what's going on in general, your shopping behavior. The thing we're looking right now is your checkout behavior. And then you also have product performance. So it'll start listing out all the products and how everything is doing, what your sales look like, your product list, everything. So in checkout behavior, they give you a nice simple chart here. This is all sessions for over 400,000 sessions. Of that, 339, almost 340,000 had no shopping activity at all, none. Then they break it down even further. What were the sessions with product views? Almost 100,000. But then you get here, how many of them had no cart addition? 78,000. So all the way down the line, sessions with add to cart, this is what the cart abandonment number looks like down at the bottom. The fourth column, sessions with checkout, then there's checkout abandonment. There are so many opportunities to leave. And a lot of people are taking those opportunities. So out of 439,000, there were 590 sessions with transactions. That's it. So you think about how many touches there are in advertising, organic. That's way over on the other side. That's beyond the 438,000. That could be 1 million. And then once they get into the website, it took this amount to get to this amount. Which is pretty kooky. So again, you want to think about what are some of the ways to make these numbers here, no shopping activity at all. Why was there no shopping activity? Why didn't they add that particular purchase to the cart? Why did they leave the cart? And why did they leave checkout? So there's different things. Maybe it was, people are expecting no cost shipping and the cost was prohibitive as far as shipping was concerned. Maybe they came in and they were just kind of price shopping, right? So they're looking at the price and they're like, I could find something cheaper, elsewhere. Maybe there wasn't enough information about the particular product. And not only was there not enough information, but there was no way to get information. So oftentimes, if there's no chat bot up so that you can ask, well, what size do these, hiking shoes come in? That, do they come in half sizes? Do they have wide sizes? All that sort of thing. So again, these are some areas where you really want to think about, like, where are you going to get those clues? What's missing on the site, or what can you make better? All right, I'm already in summary and it's only 9:05, so we have plenty of time to converse. So in summary, plan your course of action. What are you measuring? What are your KPIs? You know what your end result is. You want to have sales, you want to have downloads, you want to have signups. But what is the path to get there and what are you utilizing? That will make your life so much easier when you're in Google Analytics and you're trying to pull that type of information. Get everything set up ahead of time. Make sure that you have your goals set up. Make sure that you have your e-commerce platform connected. Make sure that everything is working. And use your Google Analytics to look for clues. and know what the clues are that you're looking for. What do the numbers mean? What are they trying to tell you? What can you do to make things run more smoothly? And then, of course, act on that information. All right, so I'm going to take questions at this point. And if there's no questions, I'm just going to do a little bit of administrative cleanup here. Oh. Hello? So just really quickly, while I'm looking for any questions or comments, just wanted to let you know that Digital Media Sync is now part of Known Live. Known Live can be viewed both on Facebook, Known Coworking's Facebook page, and on YouTube. So you can look for us there, give a subscribe to YouTube, give a like to the Facebook page, and feel free to ask questions, look at the calendar. Digital Media Sync is also part of the Known website as well. So when you go to nhvknown.com or knowncoworking.com, there's a section called Known Live. Digital Media Sync is a tab on that particular section, and I'm going to put that into the comment section for you. So this video will actually be up in just a few moments. And there's other videos as well. Other Known Live programming includes Pivot Talk, and there's been a couple of really great Pivot Talks with a lot of information. So the first one, Bob Bishop from Apex Consultant had actually taken one of Known Co-working through a Survive to Thrive exercise. A lot of businesses obviously have been pivoting, trying to find their way. At this point, due to the pandemic and the resulting business changes. We also had Escape New Haven talking about their virtual escape room. So you can see that on the website. So I just posted the link for Digital Media Sync, and I'm going to post the link for Pivot Talk as well. If you have a topic that you are interested in for Digital Media Sync or as a Pivot Talk, you can let us know on the Known Co-working Facebook page. Just drop a note. Or you can email Barb. Actually, sign up for the newsletter as well. You can go to the site and sign up for the newsletter. I get Chris back. What?
I was like, no, I can't.
Good morning.
I was so upset I had to jump out for a minute. I had a fire department.
I'm sorry.
No, this is great. And I'm still thinking about Rebecca's question about the single IP. I'm totally obsessed now with how are we tracking these people and what happens if they go from one browser to another and from one device to another. Is that still seen in one behavior flow? And you said DuckDuckGo, and never knew quite what that was, so I looked it up, and that's a private browsing experience.
That is,
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, and you're still getting data from that, so that's interesting, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, we actually should do. It would be interesting to do a whole kind of show or webinar on what is actually private and not private, and the information that is provided and not provided, because Google Analytics does grab a lot of information. And I think one of the components is actually cross-device as well. So it will actually track, because you can track yourself as well. When you do searches on a Chrome browser on your Android, because they're connected, and then you go over to your desktop or laptop, you can see what you've searched, basically.
Right.
Unless you're in an incognito window, then you can't see that. So, again, it's not an exact science either, because people will do, you can do private searches on the laptop and then do not private searches on your phone for whatever reason, because people may not be as vigilant about how they're doing their searches on every device. But for the most part, the data that is provided, is definitely something to take a look at. And I think I'm going to pop over really quick.
How long does that take to show up?
For the most part, it's pretty immediate. So when you go into Google Analytics, there's actually something called real time. And it gives you real-time data. So it's kind of neat to
watch
it, because there's oftentimes I'll go into a site and then I'll have my Google Analytics up and I'm like, oh, look, there's me on the site. I show up as a visitor, and I shouldn't show up as a visitor because I should have the address in it or pulled off, so that I can get good data out of the reporting.
Do you think you could show where you turn the admins off on the Google Analytics side, or to block yourself from showing up constantly? I know how to put in the website.
So I'll pull up that. Hold on a second. Am I on here still? Yeah. I will pull up that slide, and it gives the instructions. So it's the one that says filter your own IP address, and if you click on that, and let me know if that comes up, because I'm actually on the site itself.
It's still on the slide.
It's still on the slide?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second. I'll share that particular. Okay, that's me and you. I'm going to go back to share screen. Exclude internal traffic. So it's actually in the analytics help section. So this is the page right here.
Cool.
Yeah, that's the info. And this is the one that says a single IP address, a subnet of IP addresses, IP version 6 addresses, user expressions.
Nice.
Ta-da!
Awesome.
So that's how that works. Yeah. And again, I'll put that up on the page along with my video. Yeah, so the videos are going to reside right on the NHV Known site, nhvknown.com. And they're also on YouTube. Have you subscribed to the Known YouTube channel? I've subscribed.
Oh, I got to do that.
It's like, put that on your list too.
That is cool. We have a YouTube channel.
We do. And so all the Known Live videos are there. So Digital Media Sync, the Pivot Talks, and then the Known Live videos where we're interviewing various professionals and so forth. So it is 9:16 right now, and I did want to talk about what is coming up next in the next few weeks. And I've actually planned out about 8 weeks. So that is really exciting. And I'm actually looking for other people to present as well. So Chris, if you have something you want to present, let me know. I've asked Rebecca as well. I want to bring Sharon back on. But the next 2 weeks, I'm handing over to Zefzan of Entrepreneurs.soar. And she's been doing live broadcasting for a very long time. Like I don't even know how long, 6 years, maybe more. If it's more than that, then I apologize. I think it's more than that. So she's going to be doing a 2-part series on live broadcasting. So the first one is basically why you need to live broadcast, especially now. And the second is basically how to do it and what kind of platforms are good to utilize. And then also just some good basic information as well, like lighting and audio and so forth. So that's going to be June 2nd and June 9th. And I'm going to be putting that up on the calendar very, very soon. After that, we are actually going to be diving into promoting live events. So promoting live webinars, promoting broadcasts and so forth. So all the way from before to during to after, because there always has to be an after as well, and what steps we want people to take next after that particular broadcast is working. So that's going to be the rest of June and into July. So again, there's going to be 8 weeks of programming or 6 weeks of programming, and then I'm going to be reviewing new programming as well. It's going to be fun.
I totally love the idea of us getting together and chasing around the analytics as we're going to different platforms. I don't know if that's.
Oh yeah, we could do that. Are we doing that now, or are we doing that in a separate? Let's go chase analytics.
On real time and anything.
Yeah. Is anything in real time? Is anything real in time? So there's hold on a second. Let me take a look at that.
Yeah.
All right. I feel like I still have time. So I'm going to stop the screen. Oh, wait. Let me go back to my comment section. Just make sure that there's not anything going on. Cool. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to pop back over to the analytics.
We wouldn't be able to really see behavior flows unless we buy something, right? Well,
no, you can see behavior flow no matter what.
Right, you're right.
Because it's over a period of time. Oh, you're saying in real time, like you're saying if you want. Oh gosh, I don't think so. Because often there is on the e-commerce platform side, there is a bit of a lag when things are processing. So it'll say processing and then it'll say confirm on the e-commerce side.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and this was something that I had talked about last week, was the behavior flow page, which I absolutely love this page, just from being a total wonk and wanting to know where things are generating from. So again, it all starts here in behavior. You can see the kind of see the same information minus conversions in behavior and in behavior flow, and it's this nice chart right here. So Google Organic, again, this is the Google Analytics tutorial to play with, the play tutorial, not a real client, which I have to get permission from to utilize. So obviously this is going to skew very Google heavy. So you have your organic, direct, even the email that they use is Google Mail. So it's just like, what does the flow look like with this? And that's really, my favorite, probably one of my favorite charts.
What could you say is the biggest thing you've done to amend or adjust a website based on that behavior flow, or based on a clue that you found?
There were a couple, actually. So one was within the way that the site was working. I had just acquired a client that had, a pretty robust website. They weren't looking for a lot of sales, because a lot of what they were doing was either brick or mortar, or actually physically traveling to sites and selling in person. And then they had actually pivoted to do an online sales a few months before, all the businesses had to shut their brick and mortar. So as I was kind of going through their site and just doing an initial report of what was going on and where some opportunities were and that sort of thing, I found that there was a lot of drop off in the very beginning, and then again a lot of drop off around the purchase, the checkout area. So the drop off in the beginning was actually because there was a bottleneck, so to speak. So the site was running very slowly. And I actually had turned the site over to a colleague to take a deeper dive into what was going on. So what she found was that there was a lot of plugins, like a lot. And then there was also a lot of really heavy files that were, just slowing the site down. So that was, and that's often the problem. Actually, there were 3 sites that had that very same problem, that there was a lot of plugins, that they were outdated plugins, that they were fighting each other. I think you may have found for us the one site had, a lot going on from that perspective.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, you did. So that's a big thing. Oftentimes people keep adding pages and plugins and visuals and PDFs and this thing and that thing, and then all of a sudden, the site is taking a long time to load. So that's going to turn people off right from the beginning, because we are a very impatient lot. I am as well. If something's not loading, I'm just like, what's the next thing? Where do I go?
Yeah.
So that's one area. And then the second area is, in the checkout section. And that's also where you helped us. Oftentimes if a cart is not working or broken or hasn't been picked up by the Google Analytics because it wasn't connected correctly with the e-commerce platform, or if something's outdated, that's going to make things very, very difficult. So, yeah.
So was there any cases where it's like, okay, so this page isn't getting any hits, let's move the product to the home page? Or is it ever a case that the products are too buried? Or
Yeah, so that often happens as well, because we often want to categorize products, and oftentimes there's also a lot, if somebody's carrying 100 products, 400 products, that sort of thing. It's very easy for products to get buried. And then it's also very easy to start throwing products into different categories and not cleaning up what those categories are. And then the other thing that seems to happen as well is when those products are put into categories, right? And so what it looks like on the website is, here's a menu of this, and then here's another menu, and then here's another menu, and then all the menus start like overlapping, and you can't get to the product at all. So, a lot of times, again, thinking about the seasonality, so to speak, of products. So oftentimes that could mean very simply like actually following the seasons or chronological milestones. So if you're talking about a clothing line or something like that, well, it's like you bring out the bathing suits and the running shoes and the shorts and that sort of thing. And then when that season is over, you push those products aside, or you put them, in a clearance section of the site or that sort of thing, and you start pulling out your fall stuff. But the seasonality could also mean, from the perspective of how you want your sales to go for a variety of reasons. So like what you have in stock, and what you want to get rid of, and what's coming up next, and what's new, and what seems to follow what people are needing, like what the trends are, right? So following trends is not always a bad thing. So if you're selling something that correlates even with like a song or a television show or something like that, you can bring those products out. So there's always kind of like this rotation of products that's happening, and you're utilizing outside sources like organic social media or like advertising to promote those products. But yeah, it is possible for products to quote unquote get lost or hidden as new products are coming in, and as products are being are being pushed to another part of the site, and almost like forgotten. So it's interesting.
So it's important. So just like a store, you got to move things around.
You have to move things around. Yeah, for sure. For sure. And oftentimes, you don't need to have everything being made available all at once, especially if you have a variety of products. With, smaller sites with more streamlined product or services, so if you have like one service or a suite of services, 5, 6, 10, that sort of thing, it's much easier to navigate both the services themselves and what your website is doing in order to promote. So yeah. And it's 9:30 right now.
Right.
We made it through another digital media sync. Cool.
Very
So
good.
thank you for joining me. Thank you everybody for being here. We're going to be doing this again next week, June 2nd. Stay tuned on the Facebook page, Known Co-working Facebook page. We'll be posting out there. I'll be posting on Digital Media Sync page as well. And we have a Digital Media Sync group. We're also on YouTube. And then again, go to nhbknown.com/digital-media-sync, and you can find all that information here. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.